I've heard you talk about you went into bodybuilding. Did it go from, okay, I don't want to be the fat kid, I don't want to be the fat kid, so I'm going to be the big jacked kid, and that's going to make me happy, and that's
100%.
going to be everything that I ever wanted.
Exactly.
And then what happened when you got there?
Well, I was just a bigger, more insecure fuckwit.
Yeah.
I was still a fuckwit. Yeah. I was still an insecure fuckwit. I was a bit taller with more mass. So I did the running thing and I ended up, well, this is how dumb I was, honestly, or this is how insecure and unhinged I was. So probably by the time I was 15, 16, I was running every day of the year, 365 days of the year. I was lifting weights, but also running. Mm-hmm. But I was addicted to running. Yeah. I was addicted to training because when I trained, I looked a certain way. And when I looked a certain way, I got approval. Mm-hmm. Right? And if you're insecure, you want approval.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I started doing more weights, less running, as I started to, as testosterone kicks in. And then by the time I was... 21, 22, that was like my life revolved around being big. Yeah. And being, I was working in gyms, but all I did was eat fucking chickens and eggs and lift heavy shit and go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And again, obviously training is good, exercise is good, eating well is good, managing your body is good, but there's also an element that, or there's a line, I guess, where you go, all right, this is good, this is healthy, this is sensible. There's the line, now this is ridiculous, now I'm obsessed, this is compulsive, this is irrational. Now I'm getting my entire sense of self and self-esteem from how I look or how big I am. Right. And I woke up one day, I was living with a guy, shout out, his name's Dave, and he was a surfie, didn't give a shit about any of this, didn't understand bodybuilding or bodybuilders, thought it was stupid.
Surfers never really do they? They just look at you and go, mate, you are a weirdo.
He's like, you're a fucking unit. He goes, what is wrong with you?
I grew up on the Moynes Peninsula, and some of my mates would see me go to the gym and they're like, mate, you're a flog.
Yeah. I was a flog though. Anyway, so probably still am, some people would contend. So he one night, it was a weekend, we were going out, we're heading out to, something, function, whatever. And I was in the bathroom and just getting ready, had on a pair of jeans. I was about, this fucking full house, 100 kilos, veins and shit everywhere. And he walks down, he's talking to me from the next room, and then he's saying something, then he walks into the bathroom and I'm standing in there in a pair of jeans and no shirt and I'm shaving, and this will be no good for the audio only people, but I'm shaving like this where I've got my arms, and because my arms and everything are so fucking stupidly big I can hardly shave and I've got no flexibility. And he just looked at me and goes, what is wrong with you? And I go, what? Like, because he hadn't seen me with a shirt off for a long time. He goes, you look fucking stupid. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, do you trust me? I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, look at me. I go, what? He goes, you've lost your shit. I'm like, what? And he was like the voice of reason that my insecurity didn't want to turn up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, how big do you want to be?
Yeah. Like how uncomfortable do you want to be shaving your face?
And then what? Okay, so now you're 2 more kilos of muscle. Now 4. Now why? And I didn't compete. Yeah. So that was one of those, and I remember that conversation, and that was just one of those moments in time where, so over time.
Another one of those checkpoints that you remember where 100%. Your life took a bit of a different route, I feel like. Is that right?
And I started to become more introspective and reflective and think about my internal world, not just my external, what people didn't see. Because we're so obsessed with what people think of us and what people see, and we're so obsessed with belonging to a tribe or a group. That it's really easy to do a disservice to our own kind of value system because I want to belong so much that I'll do whatever I need to do to belong.
Yeah. I actually think, so I've had, through this podcast, I've had over the last number of years, I didn't go this year, but I've had media passes always to the Arnold and to the FitX and the Health and Fitness Expo and so forth. And I walk in there every single time and I just walk, it makes me feel very, very uncomfortable, that vibe. I walk in and I look around and I see the figure models and so forth that are, chocolate body, eating their, banana or cake so they can get their veins pumping. Then I see the bodybuilders who can't walk through the door and who look ridiculous in my opinion. Then I see the powerlifters who I think are nearly the fittest people there, big, but they're like overeating, big and fat and whatever. I walk in and I go, every time I walk into this joint, I go, what the fuck about this joint is health and fitness?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the extreme expo. You know, this is the extremes of body and soul expo, basically. And I think, I totally understand where you're at. In this point,
I think there's a way to do it that is healthy, but to your point, I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Right? And especially when you start throwing chemicals into the mix and all of that stuff and steroids and whatever.